2021 was the fourth year of the FIA World Touring Car Cup, run in the shadow of the COVID-19 pandemic. The season opened in June with 16 races planned over 8 meetings, 5 in Europe and 3 in Asia, starting behind closed doors. Hyundai replaced its faithful i30 with a 3-box Elantra to maximise its aero package. Champions Michelisz and Tarquini remain, with Luca Engstler joined by Jean-Carl Vernet, third in the previous year's standings. Audi also upped its game for 2021 with the brand new RS3, still entered by Belgian team Come To You, with an unchanged driver lineup. CUPRA's car remained familiar, but a changed lineup featured Michael Ascona and the return of 2012 world champion Rob Huff. MOTORSPORT retained its well-sorted Honda Civics and experienced driver lineup: Guerrieri and Girolami, Montero and Tashi. And Lynk & Co would also go into battle with cars and drivers unchanged from their double title-winning 2020 campaign. Nothing will be easy in this 17th season of touring car racing at world level. We started the toughest track of the season, the Nürburgring Nordschleife, a track that Néstor Girolami loves. And he repeated his 2020 feat, claiming pole for the main race at the Green Hell ahead of Jean-Carl Vernet and his own teammate Esteban Guerrieri.
It's unbelievable. To be honest, I have very good memory from last year here with this pole position. Was amazing lap, and again, repeating a pole 2 years in a row in Nordschleife is never easy.
A less impressive start for Lynk & Co. 5th for Santi Arusha, the team's best result. But 9th and 10th for Jan Erlaché and Uncle Ivan Muller. The Chinese manufacturer still had 2 cars on the front row for race 1 because of the top 10 reverse qualifying grid system. At the start, poleman Muller led away from Erlaché. Gabriele Tarquini making a super start from 5th on the grid, got by Thiago Montero as Norbert Michelisz got knocked out wide, losing a handful of positions in turn 1. Muller led them out onto the Green Hell, with Erlaché, Tarquini, Arusha and the rest giving chase. On a track he professes to hate, Tarquini took the battle to Erlaché to grab 2nd place. Then, before the end of the lap, he used Muller's slipstream on the long, fast Dottinger to attack for the lead and make the pass. But he didn't stay in front for long. His longtime friend and rival dived past in the final corner to retake the lead going on to the final lap. Under pressure from Erlaché and Santiago Arusha, Tarquini outbraked himself into turn 1. A golden opportunity for Thiago Montero, who passed them all, to grab 2nd. And as the flag approached, he took advantage of Muller's slipstream, the Portuguese slipping by, keeping his Honda in front to the end of the straight, through the final corner and to the checkered flag. His 13th career victory, his first since Villarreal in 2019.
And everything works out, that's the way it is.
There was drama for Esteban Guerrieri as he failed to start the formation lap for race 2. Forced to get away from the pit lane, he'd lose big points. Teammate Girolami couldn't match the Hyundais from pole. Vernet immediately taking the lead as the Honda driver fought vainly to keep Luca Engstler behind him. Behind them, there was chaos. Contact between Michael Ascona and Norbert Michelisz spelt an immediate end for the Hungarian and the Spaniards' races. Out front, Engstler led the charge behind Jean-Carl Vernet, piling the pressure on his teammates. The Hyundais were opening a gap on the rest of the field. Néstor Girolami in 3rd, the best of them. Mid-pack, a fraught moment for Fred Vervisch, rally crossing alongside Thiago Montero for 10th. Despite his efforts, the Belgian wouldn't see the finish line, nor would fellow Audi driver Tom Coronel, who slid out of 8th. Team orders held back Engstler. Jean-Carl Vernet leading the Hyundai 1-2 with his 5th WTCR victory. A perfect first racing weekend with the new team.
It's a fantastic start of the season, and no, I think we show good pace now. Let's keep focused. I mean, I'm only focusing on the championship, so, and if we want to win, that's how we're gonna make it.
Villarreal was the intended venue for round 2, but COVID restrictions forced a change to the more secure Estoril, home of the Portuguese Grand Prix.
It will suit really well to the touring cars. To us, we will see, but to the series and WTCR, it suits very well. So the races will be interesting, and we will have some proper fun driving around here.
Gabriele Tarquini used his knowledge and experience of Estoril to set pole for race 1 with the 10th fastest time in Q2. Honda looked to have the fastest package in Portugal with 4 Civics in Q3. Pole going to Esteban Guerrieri from teammates Montero and Girolami. Jan Ellershey made a great getaway to get ahead of Gabriele Tarquini at the start of race 1, but there was trouble behind. Girolami running into the back of Jean-Carl Vernet. Safety car was out. Any hopes of Gabriele Tarquini taking a win ended with a puncture after mid-race distance. A fierce fight raged for 10th between Nathaniel Berton, Luca Engstler and Rob Huff. And finally, it was the Brit who slipped past the battling duo in front as Jan Ellershey controlled the pace to lead a Lynk & Co podium sweep ahead of Muller and Arusha.
The start was good. It was my only chance actually if I wanted to win the race. It was at the start, and I take a pretty good start, and I managed to overtake him down to T1, and that was the aim to win this race.
Poleman Guerrieri made a shocking start for race 2. Thiago Montero grabbing the lead as Vernet and Arusha made contact further back. Points leader Montero looked to be on his way to a second win, but on lap 10 his bonnet started coming open. He was forced to pit to have it fixed, and victory was cruelly snatched away from the Portuguese. But Thiago's misfortune handed teammate Attila Tashi his first ever WTCR win.
It was a mega race. First of all, I'm really sorry for Esteban and more sorry for my teammate Thiago. First win in WTCR, very happy.
Montero's misfortune also handed the championship lead to Jean-Carl Vernet. The top 7 drivers covered by just 12 points after the first 2 race weekends. Following action-packed races in Germany and Portugal that produced 4 different winners, WTCR headed to Aragón, the 5.3-kilometre track located in the northeast of Spain. And while no spectators attended Estoril, a limited number of fans were allowed a chance to cheer on local hero Mikel Ascona. Again, Hyundai's Gabriele Tarquini took pole position for race 1 thanks to the reverse grid rule. But the Audis were also in good shape in Aragón with 4 cars in the top 7. Fred Verbisch had the best run of the Come2 drivers, drifting his way to pole for the main race.
We had a very, very difficult start of the season, like extremely difficult, and we have a better car here, more competitive, but still everything has to fall in place, and the team didn't do any mistakes. The target was to score some points, and I think we are right where we have to be.
At the start of race one, poleman Gabriele Tarquini got away well to hold off local hero Michele Ascona, with Jan Erleschet chasing in third, ahead of Coronel Berton, Magnus and Norbert Mikelitz. Coronel and then Berton passed the reigning champion, pushing him down to fifth by the end of lap 2. The Audis were equally strong in race trim as they had been in qualifying. Everybody in an Audi was looking to make up places. Fred Vervisch passed Ted Björk to take 8th place. Bad news for Jan Erleschet, still under pressure from Gilles Magnus. Further forward, Coronel and Berton even briefly swapped positions in a fruitless chase of the leaders. But nothing could prevent Gabriele Tarquini claiming the 22nd win of his WTCR career, his first with the Elantra.
The first win of my baby, because I spent a long winter to develop this car with the Hyundai's people, with BRC people. So I'm very proud of the car we reached.
The drama in race 2 wasn't at the front, it was in the middle. Local hero Michele Ascona lurched and then stopped dead. Amazingly, everyone avoided the stranded Spaniard's CUPRA, and he finally crawled away dead last. Gabriele Tarquini attacking hard, passing Jan Erleschet here for 8th place. Also on the move, another former champion, Rob Huff. After another disappointing qualifying in the CUPRA, he got by Ivan Muller for 11th. Struggling Norbert Mikelitz was quickly passed by French teammate Jean-Carl Vernet, carrying the yellow windscreen strip of the points leader. Disappointment for Audi's Tom Coronel, who was out of 7th with mechanical woes that brought out the safety car. As the racing restarted, Norbert Mikelitz, still struggling with his tyres, was holding off a long train of cars, everyone looking to make a move. Jan Erleschet looked very vulnerable to attack until the Hungarian went off with a puncture, releasing the chasing pack. Also bottled up in the queue behind Mikelitz, touring car titans Huff and Muller tussled over 9th place. The Brit would finally claim the spot. As they wrestle behind, on his way to a 3rd career win was Fredrik Vervisch, the first driver to win with Audi's new generation of RS3. But Jean-Carl Vernet retained the points lead, narrowly ahead of Erleschet and Muller. Hungary at the end of August hosted the 4th race weekend of the season, a traditional and ever popular stop where the Hungarian fans still go crazy for their hero, 2019 champion Norbert Mikelitz. The Audis shone again in Hungary, Gilles Magnus taking pole for race 1 after setting the 10th fastest time in Q2. There were mixed emotions for the Hungarian fans as Rob Huff beat Norby to clinch pole for his Hungarian Zengo Motorsport team when Nesta Girolami couldn't match his time.
It's been tough. First of all, huge congratulations to the team. You know, they've worked so hard to be able to get us in this position for this round. We've really struggled this year, it's no secret. And yeah, to pull that out here is just, it's fantastic. That's what it's all about, just, what a dream come true for the team, for Zengo, for everyone involved. It just doesn't get better than that, right?
While poleman Gilles Magnus managed to keep the lead at the start of race 1 ahead of his teammate Vervish, Michele Ascona was in trouble, colliding with Ivan Muller in the first turn, ending the Frenchman's race on the spot. In the pack, there was a huge battle for 12th with 5 cars involved in all the wheel banging and dirt chucking. Finally, Gabriele Tarquini grabbed 4 spots to move up into 13th place. Ascona pulled ahead of Erlaché to take 3rd, while Santiago Arusha inherited a spot from the CUPRA of Rob Huff. He hit a tyre stack and tore a corner off his car, a major drama for the Race 2 poleman. In the battle for the title, Erlaché in 4th. Muller pushed Vernet down to 14th, giving Erlaché a slender points lead. And the new points leader would gain a little more over his rivals when Ascona made contact with Vervish in their battle for 2nd. As the Belgian was forced wide, the Lincoln co-driver slipped past for 3rd. But the Spaniard's momentum came too late to stop Gilles Magnus scoring his first ever WTCR win. The Audi driver was jubilant.
I have to thank Fred. It was really good to have him behind, and he really saved my day because Ascona was coming quick. I think we had the pace, but yeah, big thanks to Fred really, and a big thanks to the team because we've deserved this much earlier already last year. I wanted that first win, and finally the dream came true.
Bad news for poleman Rob Huff. After his race 1 accident, the team were unable to fix his CUPRA in time for him to make it to the grid. And that meant the Briton would have to start from the pits. Alone on the front row, Santiago Arusha made no mistakes, taking the lead into turn 1. Behind him, Girolami pushed Michaelis out, to the dismay of the Hungarian fans. The Argentine also passed Vervish to take 2nd, while behind a huge fight raged for 4th between Muller and Ascona. More contact between the two. The Spaniard finally got the upper hand, but behind there was more trouble. Swede Andres Backman's race was over. Ascona passed Vervish for 3rd, but not for long as the Belgian retook the position immediately. Santiago Arusha, though, was away and clear. Nobody could match his pace. And the man from Uruguay drove to his 2nd WTCR career win, his 1st of the season. His delight was twofold, as victory left him tied with Erlaché for the championship lead.
It's amazing. But we are just in the middle of the championship, so still a long way. But obviously, of course, only my 2nd season in WTCR, I never expected to be this competitive. So now I have to keep working and keep going. That I'm really enjoying my moment.
Well, his moment was short-lived. Girolami was penalised post-race, giving Yann Erlaché 1 spot and 2 further points. So it's the Frenchman who leads the championship at the season's midpoint by a single point from his Uruguayan teammate. With COVID forcing the cancellation of the planned Asian races, Most in the Czech Republic was the first of 4 new venues selected to close the 2021 season. Wildcard and local hero Peter Fullin, the only man intimate with the circuit, used his knowledge to claim pole for race 1. Despite being new to the circuit, championship leader Jan Erlache set the 3rd fastest time in Q3. Less than 15 hundredths of a second behind Michele Ascona, who clinched the 2nd pole of his WTCR career, the 1st of the season. Poleman Peter Fullin had already reported a dragging clutch on the grid. At the start, he crawled away as Nestor Girolami grabbed the lead ahead of Nathaniel Berton, who was hit in the back by Muller and was unable to avoid Fullin. In the chaos, Esteban Guerrieri grabbed 2nd behind compatriot and teammate Nestor Girolami. But with cars off at the first turn, there was always going to be trouble. Berton and Fullin were out on the spot in the Turn 1 gravel traps. Post-safety car, championship leader Jan Erlache looking for a way past his closest rival Esteban Guerrieri, but cautious not to take too many risks and squander his points lead. Nestor Girolami then led the first Honda 1-2 of the season. The 5th WTCR career win for Bebu, his 1st of 2021.
I knew T1 it wanna be complicated for everyone because it's very dirty, the inside line. So I take my margin, even that I put 3rd gear and I went flat out to try to recover from that hit, and it worked. So I'm really happy for that.
Late afternoon in late autumn meant the sun was low in the sky for race 2. Michele Ascona, the poleman from Norbert Mikulits and Jan Erlache. Fast-starting Mikulits took the lead from Ascona at the start. Inevitably, there were multiple collisions behind. Guerrieri almost taking 2nd again as cars fanned out across the track. And Girolami right at the tail of the field. Erlache survived the carnage, but Gilles Magnus would be out with electrical failure. Everybody else had a story to tell about Turn 1 in Most. Santiago Arusha collected by Tarquini, they were both out. Rob Huff, one of 4 cars littering the gravel traps, the race director with no choice but to red flag the race. With the shadows lengthening, the race was restarted. Mikulits holding the lead from Ascona, Guerrieri and Erlache. A close fight developing behind between Frenchmen, Vernet and Muller.
JK, we have a drive-through penalty, JK. Why? For the timing of the grid. Sorry, you guys.
Team's error, JK was the one who took a massive points hit. While teammate Norbert Mikulits became the 10th winner in 10 races in 2021.
To be honest, not only Budapest, the whole season was a bit of a nightmare, so it's a huge confidence boost for me, because I knew that Mikel is slightly faster than me, but I managed to do like 15 qualifying laps, and in the end it was enough to win the race. Very, very happy about that.
With 3 race weekends remaining, Jan Erlache led by 20 points from Esteban Guerrieri, but nothing was yet settled. For the first time in 5 years, WTCR headed to France for the 6th race weekend of 2021, not at Paul Ricard, but at Pau-Arnos in the foothills of the Pyrenees, a real challenge for the drivers. Audi's Fredrik Vervisch clinched the race 1 pole position, setting the 10th fastest lap in Q2. Points leader Jan Erlache looked set for pole and 5 vital points until he was beaten by none other than Uncle Ivan, leading a Lincoln Co. 1-2-3, the 4-time world champion's first pole since Macau 2019.
Only 3 races left. Yeah, that was a good lap, even if I think I could have been better, but we always think we can be better, and most of the time we cannot.
Fred Vervisch took the lead from pole, with Ted Björk following in his wheel tracks and Gabriele Tarquini pushing hard. But behind, there was contact between Monteiro and Erlache. The Portuguese came off distinctly second best. Ivan Muller also picked up damage, the race 2 poleman forced to pit for repairs. Vervisch led from Björk and Tarquini. With only half a dozen races remaining, Verne needed every point he could get, so passing Mikulits for 6th might turn out to be critical.
Good job.
Fred Vervisch became the first driver to score a 2nd win in 2021, a victory that was sealed from the start.
I was so focused in the start and it felt so good, but down there, you know, if I would have tapped Vervisch, we could have destroyed many cars. So the decision was to back off a little bit.
To have a victory, I didn't expect us the weekend, for sure with the reverse grid. You hope or you have to win, so we did.
From the outside of the all-French front row, Jean-Carl Verne out-dragged poleman Ivan Muller, who got too much wheel spin. Verne grabbing the lead into the tricky first corner complex. Behind him, Muller and Arusha wheel-to-wheel, ahead of Girolami and Guerrieri. Erlache was in 8th. Norbert Mikulits was struggling to hold off Santiago Arusha for 3rd, though. The Hungarian's tyres were not at their best. And as Norby struggled, the queue behind him lengthened. Finally, the Uruguayan driver slipped past the Hungarian. And he was quickly followed by race 1 winner Vervisch. Now stuck behind Norby, points leader Erlache was coming under attack from his closest rival Esteban Guerrieri. The Argentine attacked at the chicane, but he misjudged it and the Honda hit the tyre stack. The safety car would be scrambled to allow marshals to move the tyres out of the track. Finally, the race went green for the final lap. Verne looking to score maximum points ahead of Muller and Arusha. Erlache was still stuck behind Mikulits, but the Hungarian's defence was rugged, to say the least. He forced the Lincoln Co onto the grass, allowing Guerrieri a run on the Frenchman from behind. But Air Lachey's defence remains solid, despite aggressive attempts to pass from the Honda driver. The flag was out for the second win of the year for Jean-Carl Vernet, his 7th career win in WTCR. And a vital win for the Frenchman as he claimed to second in the points, 16 behind Air Lachey, but 6 ahead of Guerrieri. For the first time since 2017, WTCR returned to Italy at the newly rebuilt Adria International Raceway close to Venice on the Adriatic coast. A unique feature of the track, its fully enclosed indoor paddock. After being held for a long time on the weighbridge, Jean-Carl Vernet qualified only 13th.
Great thanks to the guys at the balance. The marshal stopped me like for 3 minutes and I was able to put only 1 set of new tires. So thank you, we lost the championship and I have nothing else to say.
Covering all their options, Link & Co helped Santiago Arusha earn pole position for race 1. Championship leader Air Lachey with 5 points for going fastest in Q1 and 5 more for pole in Q3 scored the maximum possible to increase his advantage. Esteban Guerrieri made the best start from second on the grid to take the lead from Santi Arusha, Tom Coronel and Norbert Mikulits. Behind them, Nestor Girolami, Ivan Muller and Gilles Magnus were side by side for 5th. Despite his bad start, Arusha was clearly the fastest man on track. He passed Guerrieri to take the lead before the end of the opening lap. Working his way quickly up the order, after 3 laps, Vernet was attacking title rival Air Lachey to take 10th place. Then he passed Berton for 9th, but the Audi driver fought back. Vernet couldn't afford to lose the position, and as they exited the hairpin, one Frenchman would exit stage left. Fellow Audi driver Tom Coronel finally passed Esteban Guerrieri on lap 11 to take 2nd place. But it was much too late to challenge Arusha, who raced ahead to claim his 2nd win of the season. It kept Arusha's championship hopes alive. Now 2nd in the title race, tied on points with Esteban Guerrieri, only 22 behind leader Air Lachey. But Adria will be remembered for one story. A few days ahead of the Italian round, Gabriele Tarquini announced this would be his final professional racing season. A career that's lasted 4 decades, during which time he's become one of the world's greatest touring car drivers.
Welcome back in the WTCR. I'm on board in my last race of Italy. It's not a fantastic day for me because it's the end of my story in the WTCR, but I'm happy to race in Italy in front of my fans.
Pole in 2021 again, Air Lachey took the lead from Fred Verbisch, Ted Björk and Gilles Magnus. Verbisch was pushing Air Lachey all the way into turn 1. An eventful third lap will cripple certain championship hopes though. Nesta Girolami and Jean-Carl Vernet were both out of the race and out of the title hunt. Still very much a factor was another of the Hyundai drivers. Gabriele Tarquini was all fired up to be racing at home again, slicing past teammate Norbert Mikelic to take 6th. Then the old fella caught and chased down Esteban Guerrieri to grab 5th. But the big winner was Yann Erlaché. He took his 2nd win of the season, opening up the gap at the top of the championship standings at the best time possible.
I'm really happy we won that one, to be honest, because it was a really important day for us this year. So we had to answer prison today, and I think we did it well. So really pleased about the result, and we look forward to Russia.
Erlaché would head to the final race weekend with a 30-point advantage over Vervish. But one title had already been decided. Gilles Magnus was the WTCR class champion. Not the end of the chase for the young Belgian, who will battle for the junior title in Russia at the season finale. And that would be at Sochi on Russia's Black Sea coast, with 6 drivers mathematically in with a chance for the title. Boasting a 36-point lead with 60 remaining on the table, Erlaché was the favourite. But soaking wet weather on the Russian GP track could change everything. Battling for the junior title against Luca Engstler, Gilles Magnus struck the first blow by clinching pole for race 1, just ahead of teammate Vervish. Yann Erlaché and his uncle, Ivan Muller, were the only title contenders to make it into Q3. The youngster, though, couldn't manage better than 5th fastest with his single-lap shootout. But Uncle Ivan became the only man to claim pole for the main race twice in the season.
Since a bit I hear in the paddock, yeah, Müller is maybe not as quick it was in the past, maybe, but I show 2 pole positions on the last 3 races. I can still be P3 in the championship, in the top 3, that will be the 16th time in the row, that will be great.
On a streaming wet Russian track, Vernet made the best start from 3rd on the grid, slicing between the 2 Audis in front of him. He took the lead briefly, but before long, Gilles Magnus was back in front. Conditions were atrocious, as Esteban Guerrieri was soon to prove. He wasn't the only one to go off there on the opening lap, and Norby somehow missed the danger.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. What happened, mate? What happened? I hit the blue paint. I tried on the outside and I hit the blue paint.
After 2 laps under the safety car, the race was restarted, and immediately Vernet attacked Magnus to take the lead. The Audis were giving chase, but they were followed by Ascona, who just moved up to 4th ahead of teammate Rob Huff. The Cupra's also flying. And when Magnus struck trouble and ran out wide, Huff and Ascona were soon ready to pounce. Two laps later, the Cupras were all over Vervish for 2nd. Huff attacked, but his car suffered in the contact and Ascona was able to slip through the gap. No one could match the Spaniard's pace, and on the final lap, he scythed past Vernet to take the lead of the race. Ascona, Zengo and CUPRA were winless so far in 2021. All that changed in the final few corners. No wonder Zoltán Zengo was jubilant. A first win for Ascona and for CUPRA, and joy for Lynk & Co, with 2 titles confirmed before the final race.
I believe we have the points for the teams. I need to check. But yeah, great job, mate. Well done. You earned it. Good job.
It was Sign Racing's 5th consecutive team's title since 2017 and a 2nd consecutive driver's crown for Yann Lachey.
That feels so good. That feels so good. You know, it's always a lot of pressure to carry, you know, even if we try to look impermeable to this pressure, it's still a lot of things to carry, you know, and you know, it's a work for so long time, and that's just the result, and that feels so good, to be honest. Thanks to everyone, family that is watching. I guess you are pleased with this, and yeah, I'm running out of words, to be honest, because it feels so good. We are world champion twice. Yes.
One race remained, and still it rained. The poor conditions will be fatal for Gilles Magnus's title hopes. Contact with Attila Tashi at the start would force him out, handing the junior title to young German Luca Engstler. This mistake from Muller, clashing Ascona and heading into retirement, handed 3rd place in the championship to Verne. While the 16th race victory of the season went to the 12th different driver of the year, Rob Huff. Zoltán Zengo again beside himself with joy. So Yann Lachey is our double champion at the end of a season that was close fought, tense and exciting. 2021, we salute you.
WTCR.